Well, I'd like to add my welcome to that of Dean Kostler and Jim Morris. As they said, it's an amazing task, and it's amazing to see all of you here in the class with 400 alums. It's really fantastic. I have the honor of introducing our keynote speaker, Tassel. Our keynote speaker today is a leader in the business community with over 20 years of experience spanning 30 countries. Global sales, business development, manufacturing, and operations in technologies companies. She earned a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from Lehigh University and an MBA from the University of Dallas. She's held various executive positions at Texas Instruments, Raytheon, Sun Microsystems, and Lucent Technologies, where she most recently served as VP Strategic Alliances and New to Business Development of Global Sales. Throughout her career, she's been responsible for building relationships with strategic alliances, partners on a global basis, and for leveraging these relationships to drive new growth of both existing and new markets, and has successfully assisted companies in worldwide strategies and international business development. She joined Hitachi in May 2006 and is currently Vice President and General Manager. It's my great pleasure to introduce Elizabeth Liz King.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Dean Griss, Dean Kostler, and members of the faculty for giving me the honor and privilege of being with you today. First, I would like to congratulate you, the class of 2009, on your fine achievement today. You now have a prestigious certification of a high intellect and ability to meet new challenges ahead of you. As many commencement speakers will say, this moment is more about the beginning of a new journey than it is about the end of one. Each of you now looks through the doorway of the future, a door that you have prepared for and worked diligently for. And now, as you open that door, each of you will see very different things. Why do you think that we can all look through the same doorway and see so differently? When I look back to the day that I was sitting in your seat, it was beyond my comprehension that someday I would market and sell anti-radiation missiles to our allies around the world, that I would travel throughout Europe, the Middle East, and Asia, negotiating complex defense military contracts with senior government officials, move from that career and to living through the roller coaster ride of the internet bubble boom and bust in the early 2000s, from selling servers to software to telecommunication systems across 30 countries, and now be responsible for a systems division of one of the largest Japanese corporations of the world. There is no way I could have planned this. So how did it happen? Well, I did not do this all by myself. I developed relationships with people who had faith in my ability and guided me well. So the first thing I want you to look for is the value of developing a high-quality network of personal friends, professional friends, and mentors. It can comprise past work colleagues, Carnegie Mellon fellow graduates, and faculty here with you today, bosses, subordinates, neighbors, and family friends. This is a lifelong, ever-evolving process. As your network grows, you will find it a powerful and vital tool for problem solving, for innovation, and an endless source of new opportunities in times both good and bad. To date, I've had the privilege of working for 5 corporations. For each move that I made, my network played a pivotal role in enabling that opportunity. A friend of my husband's opened the door for me at Sun Microsystems. A former colleague relationships through indirect paths introduced me to both Lucent and to Hitachi. Of course, I had to compete to win each job, but without my network, none of it would have been possible. A deep and active people network will provide you a dazzling array of opportunities and choices. Another personal attribute that will enhance your future success is an open mind. This can be tricky in a world that pays for people with knowledge and applied skill, people who have the answers. The problem is, the answer that may have worked yesterday may not work today, and the questions always change. In fact, the world is always about change. It is critical to be able to see change or the need for change and also the ability to initiate, to adapt, and to take advantage of change. I have found the best way to cope with this chaotic world that we live in to keep an open mind. Conscious or unconscious constraints on how we view ourselves, our employer, our products, our competitors, everything needs to be critically examined on a real-time basis. There's a great phrase that comes to mind. Minds are like parachutes. They work better when they are open. Let me give you a personal example. 14 years ago, living in Dallas, I was summoned by my customer in South Korea to begin negotiations on a large government contract earlier than that was planned. I had just returned from an exhausting 2-week business trip in Australia, so the last thing I wanted to do was get on a plane. So on a day I dreaded to travel, on a plane I was not supposed to be on, in a seat that I wasn't supposed to inhabit, I met my future husband. He's sitting right there. That meeting, completely by chance, propelled me to a new world called Silicon Valley and launched a new career that only continues to evolve and grow for me every day. By being open-minded that day, my then adventurous life became an even greater adventure, personally and professionally. So next, how do you navigate through this dynamic high-tech world? Years ago, when the world was much more linear, the conventional wisdom was to set specific goals and manage to them. A plus B always equaled C. Well, anyone with a pulse rate over 50 knows that life outcomes today are more closely modeled by quadratic equations and pathways that look more like a strand of DNA and not a straight line. The modern world is anything but linear, so stay in friendly relationship with this fact. Why don't you replace a goal orientation with a vector orientation? Go ahead and set your goals, but detach from the outcomes. Focus on the vector, the path, the challenges and opportunities of each step along the way. With an open mind and a supportive network, you will see more possibilities for growth and new directions than if you are fixated on a single goal. For every one goal you would like to achieve, there exist many others of equal or greater value that you cannot even imagine. Another aspect of maximizing your future is how you go about setting those goals on your path, especially in a job market today that is increasingly competitive and filled with qualified people. So I say to you, be bold and take risks. Be entrepreneurial. Stretch for that new experience that will set you apart from others, that will give you a competitive edge. Now, this is easier said than done. Change and risk taking are not comfortable. They never are. There will be internal inertia. Others will advise you against or seriously question your desires. But if you are not on the end of a skinny branch, wondering, what am I doing here? You are not maximizing your learning. You are not expanding your abilities. Growth always comes from climbing out on those skinny branches. So when you experience those butterflies in your stomach or sweaty palms, know that you are doing the right thing. One thing I want to say about doing the right thing, the fact that you enrolled in this fine university validates that you did step out on that skinny branch. The final thought I want to share with you about making the most of your future is simple, but perhaps the most tactically challenging. You have got to be relevant to every person in every situation every day. You need to be of value to others by helping them achieve their goals and accomplishing your own. Much is said these days about branding and developing your own personal brand. This is what others collectively think of you, so it is not something you control, but you can influence it. And it always has relevance as a major characteristic. No matter what your specific skill or job content, we are all measured somewhere along the spectrum of winner to loser, thoroughbred to also ran. Much of this measurement is dependent on how relevant you are to others and what value you can bring. Each and every day when I'm at work, I ask my teams and I also ask myself, are you driving value? And if so, how are you driving it? To our division, to our company, and to our stakeholders? Is that development project underway still going to really move the needle and achieve the expectations that we set? Reflect on this question and notice that it might make you uncomfortable. Despite all the great intentions, the answer may have been once yes, but is it still yes? Despite all the great intentions now, what are you going to do? Has the market or the competition or even your own company's direction changed the game? Are your skills that are required today going to be the same for tomorrow? It is critical to recognize the situation in real time and then to take action to reestablish your relevance. So in summary, what you make of your future first begins with how you see it, and that is best done with an open mind. Secondly, the richness of your experience will be enhanced by enlisting the help of others in a vibrant network of mentors, of teachers, problem solvers, and sounding boards, and you will nourish them in return and give back. Thirdly, to make the most of opportunities in a chaotic, nonlinear world, set goals, but develop a vector consciousness in pursuing them. Life is full of surprises. The best way to deal with uncertainty is to be in action and ride the vector. Fourthly, in your goal setting, be entrepreneurial, whether it's a long-term career goal or tomorrow's to-do list. Reach for something new, think out of the box, and take prudent risks. Do the skinny branch work. Finally, focus on being relevant to others in every situation, every day. Demonstrate your value every day. The future is truly yours. You're smart, you are accomplished. Now go step through that doorway and make it happen. Thank you, and again, congratulations.